Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, members of the academic and administrative community of EUC, it is with great pleasure that we welcome you this evening to the ceremony for the Awards of Excellence in Research and Teaching, the latter in memory of Dr. Mary Elευθεριάδου, for the academic year 2023. One of the main objectives of our university is to promote excellence in teaching and research, as well as to create the appropriate conditions for the economic and cultural development of the local and European society. We will begin the ceremony with a short musical session by Evridiki Hiti, a graduate of our university's music program, who will be performing 2 jazz standards on the saxophone, At Last by Harry Warren and My Way by Jacques Revaux. Please. Thank you. Research and teaching are the main pillars of our university strategy for differentiation and distinction in the global map of university education. Tonight's event confirms once again that EUC is progressing and enhancing its prestige both nationally and internationally, recognizing and rewarding the excellence demonstrated by its faculty members in research and teaching. And now I would like to invite the rector of the university, Professor Andreas Evstathiou, to give his welcome speech for this evening's event.
Good evening, everyone. Dear Director General of the Research and Innovation Foundation, distinguished guests, dear participants of the Erasmus International Week, dear colleagues and dear students, it is my great pleasure and honor to welcome you this evening to European University Cyprus and address you on the occasion of the organization of the ceremony for the Awards of Excellence in Research and Teaching for the academic year 2023. The Teaching Awards are given in memory of Dr. Mary Elευθeriάδου, who was Dean of the School of Sciences at our university. The Awards for Excellence in Research and Teaching have been established in the last 3 years in our university with the aim of recognizing the teaching and research staff of the university who have demonstrated outstanding performance in research and teaching during their respective period and thereby contributed significantly to academic excellence in our university. The mission of our university is to provide high-quality education to our students who come from all over the world, to conduct pioneering research and innovation in collaboration with leading institutions around the world, and to give back to the society. Nowadays, when international security and stability are threatened by the first large-scale war in Europe since the Second World War, European University Cyprus renews its commitment to international solidarity and cooperation. It is with great pleasure that we welcome to our university every year students from all over the world studying in our numerous study programs offered in the English language. Our institution has come a long way since its founding more than 60 years ago. An ever-increasing number of our faculty and researchers collaborate with scientists in some of the finest universities in the world. And they also coordinate or participate in a number of prestigious projects which are funded by the European Commission, the Research and Innovation Foundation here in Cyprus, and numerous other funding agencies. Our research activity in the last 5 years increased at the average rate of 20 to 30% per year, quadrupling external research funding and publications in peer-reviewed journals. As a result, the university already fulfills the criteria for entering prestigious rankings such as the Times Higher Education World University Rankings. We envisage a highly ranked European University Cyprus, which will attract high-caliber students, academics, and researchers from all over the world, and therefore contribute to the society in Cyprus. We are also very proud of the fact that our university this year began the offer of its program in medicine at the branch of our School of Medicine in Frankfurt, Germany. It is a great honor that this is the first time a university based in Cyprus is offering programs of study outside the island. Another good indication of our quest for internationalization is the offer of 4 programs of study with strong digital content in China within the framework of our collaboration with Minyang University. In closing, I would like to extend my warmest congratulations to all the colleagues being awarded this evening and wish them well in their future plans and academic careers in general. I would also like to express my sincere thanks and congratulations to all those who worked so hard for the organization of this brilliant ceremony this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rector. It's now a pleasure to invite the Director General of the Research and Innovation Foundation, Mr. Theodoros Lukaidis, to come to the podium for his address.
Dear Dean, dear faculty and staff, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today we come together to celebrate the outstanding achievements of the talented scholars and researchers of the European University of Cyprus, who have gone above and beyond in their pursuit of excellence, making significant contributions to their respective fields. First of all, please allow me to convey my warmest congratulations to all nominees and award recipients on your well-deserved recognition. Your accomplishments are a testament to the dedication, hard work, innovative spirit, as well as your commitment to pushing the boundaries of knowledge and driving positive impact on society. These awards, however, do not only reflect on your exceptional work, but also on the collaborative and supportive environment this institution has created for you. The European University has established itself as a regional center of excellence in academia and research, with an interdisciplinary character and a pro-innovation attitude, producing significant results in all areas of activity, including strong research funding, state-of-the-art infrastructure, and an educational program aligned with the needs of the labor market. We are particularly pleased to see how research has become an integral part of this institution's mission. Let us therefore reflect on the power to shape our world for the better, providing solutions to the numerous pressing challenges and of our time, and contributing to the building of the sustainable, competitive economies and greener, more resilient societies. Living up to its mission, the Research Innovation Foundation is committed to providing all of you, young and distinguished researchers and entrepreneurs, with all the necessary tools to not only produce research breakthroughs, but also to translate them into products and services that address pressing challenges we face nationally and internationally. The Research Innovation Foundation has a number of funding tools that support research excellence, strengthening the linkages between academia and industry to facilitate knowledge transfer and to also support the development of exciting entrepreneurial ventures. We are also committed to support the development of state-of-the-art research infrastructures and also the internationalization of our national ecosystem. As a small island nation, internationalization is key to the enhancement of our competitiveness as a country. The Research Innovation Foundation now also provides free of charge services for knowledge transfer and commercialization to the national ecosystem, services which I urge you all to use and benefit from as soon as possible. I would also like to emphasize that the Research Innovation Foundation has improved significantly its operational performance. In 2019, it would take us on average 21 months from a call deadline to signing the contracts. Today, it takes less than 8 months. We take the feedback on board, we move at pace, because we want all of you to maintain the state of the art of your research proposals, receive funding as soon as possible, similar and comparative to what the funding agencies of other national countries do, but also the European Commission, in order to get on with your work and deliver results for the country. My dear scientists, dear guests, if I had stood before you 10 years or so ago, there would have been very little we could have talked about this national ecosystem. Today, as a consequence of national investments, the research innovation ecosystem is a very vibrant ecosystem. The Research Innovation Foundation had and will continue to have a focal role in driving the growth of our ecosystem for the benefit of our society and our economy. While producing excellent research remains a priority, we are also investing in the commercialization aspect. Commercialization is a critical component, and this is something we are pleased to know that the European University fully acknowledges and embraces, having included commercialization potential as one of the key criteria for tonight's awards. Together, we can empower and enable our strong scientific base to develop this so important entrepreneurial mindset that will allow the country to contribute even more to the national efforts, but also the international efforts on developing our economies and our societies. Our joint efforts have already produced remarkable results. I am confident we can achieve much more, advancing a truly impact-oriented, knowledge-based economy for our country. Once again, I would like to congratulate you on this great event and wish you all a pleasant evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lukaidis. Next, I would like to invite Professor Loizos Simeu, Vice Rector for Academic Affairs, to address the audience.
Good evening, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, dear Vice Rector, our distinguished guests. It's an honor tonight, it's evening already, to present the teaching awards of this third edition of the awards for teaching and research of European University in this lovely setting. We are here to honor two of our colleagues, two of our faculty members who received these awards. Allow me to say a few words how these awards are decided. It's a competitive process. It's not a given. So the two colleagues tonight, actually two female colleagues tonight, will be awarded the degrees, the awards, after a competitive process. So after the announcement of the call by the Office of the Vice Rector of Academic Affairs, this takes place on an annual basis, and there's a deadline every February. Colleagues themselves with a self-nomination process, or students, and it has to be 5 students who will nominate their best instructor, or colleagues nominate another colleague, may award and submit an application for a nomination, actually, for those faculty, those academic staff, those colleagues that they believe that they should be awarded and they deserve these awards. It is important to clarify that these awards, compared to the research awards that will follow, are nominated both to faculty but also special teaching personnel of our university. There's a special form, of course, and then a panel committee which consists by the rector and the Vice Rector of Academic Affairs, 2 ad hoc members from external faculty, and this year we had Professor Konstantinos Delta, who is here with us tonight from the School of Medicine of the University of Cyprus, and also Professor Thomas Babalis from the School of Education Sciences of the National Kapodistrian University of Athens, as well as 2 internal faculties. This year, we decided to nominate this position in the panel, the award panel, to our last year's awardees, which was Professor Elpida Nicolusi, who is here tonight, as well as Dr. Luisa Vognati, who is also here tonight, as well as finally 1 representative from our student body, as this is nominated by the student union itself, and we had Mr. Marcus Gerolemu. So after we shortlisted the nominees and the nominations, we invite the shortlist nominees for an interview and a friendly discussion as far as their teaching perspectives, the way they teach, and how they reflect on their teaching. There's a series of criteria in which the panel reaches its final decision. It's actually 14 criteria. And the panel will decide after the interviews which will be the nominees. I won't, of course, make reference to 14 criteria. It's going to be very boring for you. So I go directly now to announcing our two awards. I have already said that we are awarding these to two colleagues, two female colleagues of our faculty. And the first is Dr. Vasiliki Gretsi, Associate Professor at the Department of Life Sciences of our university. Until Vasiliki reaches the podium, allow me to say a little bit about her CV. Dr. Gretsi received her diploma in biology from the National and Kapodistrian University of Athens in Greece and her PhD in cellular and molecular pathology from the University of Pittsburgh, the medical school there in the USA. She worked as postdoctoral fellow at the Biomedical Sciences Research Center Alexander Fleming in Athens, as researcher at the Center of Research and Technology Hellas, as visiting lecturer at the University of Thessaly at the medical school, and as senior scientist at the Cancer Biophysics Lab of the University of Cyprus. Since 2017, she is a full-time faculty at European University Cyprus, where she currently holds the position of Associate Professor in the Department of Life Sciences of the School of Sciences. And very importantly for me, and that's how I learned more about her, is that she's the coordinator of the program of biomedical sciences. Dr. Gretsi, before receiving the award, allow me to say something more, let's say, personal. It was also identified by the panel, the award panel. Dr. Gretsi coordinated this program in a way that, in a very, very efficient way, in a way that her teaching abilities work as an example to her colleagues in the program. She smoothly coordinates this program, and what we read in the application, the nomination documents, the award panel identified all these positive qualities of her, not only being an exemplar herself in the program of study she is coordinating, but also to her students and her colleagues. And a final note, not very often we have students at the undergraduate level to be able to publish their BSc thesis in important and highly ranked journals. And this is something that is achieved in this program of study, and Dr. Gretsi should be given this honor and respect as far as achieving all this in the program of study. So I assume that now we need to call my colleague who was awarded last year this award, Professor Elpida Nicolousi. She's a professor at the School of Dentistry, to award to provide the award to Dr. Gretsi. Would you like to turn this way?
Hello. So, dear Rector, dear Vice Rector of Academic Affairs, dear Vice Rector of Research, Mr. Lukaidis, Dr. Deltas, dear colleagues, friends. I'm very happy to be here. I've been working in European University Cyprus for the last 6 years, and to tell you the truth, I really love my job. Thank God I have been blessed to have good teachers so far, and I have been also blessed to have a good environment, good working environment at the UC. So I have a very friendly environment, very good colleagues that make my life and my work every day easier. And I really love interacting with students, and most of the time I also learn from them. So I really believe this ancient Greek saying that you grow old while learning. So this teaching award doesn't mean that I'm the best professor at the Department of Life Sciences. It doesn't mean that I don't make mistakes, because I do. But it means really something that the effort that I'm making is really appreciated. And this is a very good and very rewarding feeling. So I would like to thank all of you. First of all, the people who nominated me for this award, the awarding committee who evaluated me, of course my husband, my daughter, and my son, who are putting up with me all the time that I'm not at UC, and all my students. And I will just keep doing what I'm doing with less mistakes, I hope, and doing my best. So thank you all.
And the second award goes to, there's no ranking, it's 2 equal awards. It goes to Dr. Christalla Papadimitri Kachrimani, Assistant Professor at the Department of Education Sciences. Until Christalla reaches us here, let me say that she's also a coordinator of one of our programs of study at the European University Cyprus, the BA in Early Childhood Education. She's also coordinating the MA program on Creativity, Play and STEAM Education at the Department of Education Sciences. The coordination of these programs involves both administrative, of course, and academic responsibilities that Christalla managed to succeed very successfully. Her work has been published in international peer-reviewed journals and edited book volumes. She focuses on research with children and teachers, and this research is merged in her teaching practice, and her teaching practice empowers her research. She was one of the 2 member scientific committees that developed the pedagogical framework of the national curriculum of Cyprus for early childhood education that was announced in 2020. As I did with Vasiliki Ngretsi, I owe to say a few words to Christalla Papadimitri. In this case, my knowledge about Christalla does not relate only to my position as the responsible person in the university, as far as the Vice Rector of Academic Affairs and the head of the quality assurance procedures of the university. That's how I learn more about Vasiliki Ngretsi, but Christalla happens to be a member of the department that I belong to as well. I happen to be her first chairperson, so since 2007 I know what she's doing in this program of study, and I can easily say that she's a role model for all colleagues in our department, but also those who teach in the program of early childhood education and the MA of early childhood education. At the same time, she's very active in various activities locally but also internationally that relate to early childhood, including being the establisher, but also the first chair of the OMEP Cyprus, which is a very important body in every country that gives honor and tries to implement rights for early childhood education ages. So last but not least, something that not many know, but both me and the Vice Rector of Research, who is also in my department, in our department, Christalla, has developed the policy of the university on supporting students with low GPA. Her plan, her way of supporting the students in the program of early childhood education was afterwards used in order to develop the university-wide policy. This policy now is used by all departments, all programs of study at the European University of Cyprus. So Christalla, congratulations. And I now call our last year's, it was 2 years ago, correct, awardee of the same award, Dr. Luisa Vognati, Associate Professor at the Department of Health Sciences, Associate Professor of Law, Speech Therapy. I will also call, I'm not awarding this award, our distinguished colleague from the University of Cyprus, Professor Konstantinos Delta, to jointly award the award.
Thank you.
Dear Rector, Vice Rector of Academic Affairs, Vice Rector of Research and External Affairs, and Director of Human Resources of EUC, dear Director of the Research and Innovation Foundation and members of the committee, dear guests, colleagues, and students. Even though the Award for Excellence in Teaching is a separate award to the Award for Excellence in Research, it is very difficult for me to separate the act of teaching from the act of researching. Traditionally, it is considered that as part of educational research and educational practice, researchers research, teachers teach, and learners learn, as indicated by the words themselves. But as a teacher educator and an educational researcher, I cannot put aside the fact that contemporary research and literature strongly justify that in order for meaningful learning to take place, all participants should learn from each other through a process that is not different from researching. The aforementioned view to teaching affects my job as a teacher in multiple ways. Above all, it explains why I also love this part of my job so much. Even though we are talking about an award in teaching, please allow me to oppose to the word teaching, as I do on a daily basis when I negotiate what is education all about with my students in my courses, and when organizing for them authentic learning experiences with children on a regular basis. I oppose to the word teach, as it carries a message which implies that learners are viewed as passive recipients. In contrast to the scientifically and well-established conviction that learners are likely to learn the most and enjoy learning the most if they are engaged in learning as active participants. If I was to view myself as a teacher having to passively teach my students, I'm almost sure that I would hate my job. But I love my job, for it's all about me learning about learning with my students. Actually, I believe that I am in this position today of receiving this award mostly because I am a good learner. As a teacher educator, I value the view that teachers teach the way they have been taught. Thus, I concentrate on making sure that what happens in my courses is mostly learning and not so much teaching. This is a real challenge. Children come to this world equipped as the best learning machines in the universe. And then they grow up and go to school, whereas expressed by Seymour Papert, father of the most contemporary learning theory, they experience the trauma of having to stop learning and accepting being taught. I've experienced this trauma with my two daughters when they went to school. Whereas I had the joy of watching the astonishing ability of my daughters to think, creatively and logically solve problems, and learn on a daily basis from day zero without being taught, as all children do, when they entered school, they had to face a different reality. Thus, it is not surprising that after 12 years of schooling, the challenge we face with our students in our courses is their difficulty in actively learning and their demand to being passively taught. As my students are prospective teachers, I do not have the luxury to take this lightly. I need to make sure that my students will experience real learning, reflect on this experience and build on it in order to foster learning when they themselves step in the shoes of a teacher. Every student is a prospective teacher of a significant number of children, so every student counts. A learner is a learner. Thus, in many ways, there is no difference between having the responsibility of fostering the learning of children or young adults. If this makes you think that I treat my students as I treat children, you are right. I treat my students with respect within a pedagogy of negotiation, listening, and democracy. After all, I am known for not treating children in a childish manner. Securing the image of children as powerful, competent human beings which deserve respect is in the heart of my teaching and the programs of studies on early childhood education and creative learning and play which I coordinate. This award is a great honor for me, and the fact that the nomination was signed by students makes it very special. So, besides my family, and especially my daughters, from which I have learned so much, and all of my colleagues at the Department of Education Sciences, I would like to thank all of the student teachers I have had over the 25 years I teach, and all the children I have had the opportunity to actively learn with within my constant work with children. Congratulations to all nominees and all award winners. Thank you. I wish you all a nice evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I would now like to ask Professor Marios Vironidis, Vice Rector for Research and External Affairs, to come to the podium.
Good evening. Dear Rector, dear Director General, dear Vice Rector, dear distinguished guests, dear colleagues, dear friends. From this year, the European University Cyprus offers 3 research awards to European University Cyprus faculty who distinguish themselves in their research activity. The awards aim to reward research excellence and nurture a research culture at our university. Specifically, the awards that will be given tonight are the following. For the first time, we will award an Early Career Woman Research Award as part of our gender equality plan. We will also award a research award for a distinguished researcher, and a third one for a young researcher. We distinguish the two researchers, distinguished researcher and the young researcher, by the number of years that they have been active researcher. In thus, distinguished researchers are the ones who have over 10 years of research experience, whereas younger researchers are the ones who have less than 10 years experience in research. For the first award, the Early Career Woman Research Award, for which we give for the first time, because our gender equality plan was actually adopted a year ago, we formed a subcommittee from our ad hoc committee on gender equality. And we adopted similar criteria as the ones we have for a selection of the previous, the older two awards. These criteria are the following: quality of the results of the researchers' research activity and their importance at an international level, publication of the researchers' results in distinguished scientific journals and presentations in high-impact international conferences, evidence of the use and exploitation of the results of the research activity for the improvement and the quality of life in Cyprus and the wider European area, and the possibility of commercial exploitation and introduction in the international market or patent registration. Let me find my notes. This year's Early Career Woman Researcher Award, which is given for the first time, goes to our colleague from the Department of Life Sciences at the School of Sciences, Dr. Christiana Neophytou. Allow me to say a few words about Dr. Christiana Neophytou. She has earned her Bachelor of Science in Biology from the University of Athens in 2008 and has a Master of Science degree in Molecular Biology in 2009 from the University of Cyprus. At the University of Cyprus, she defended her PhD thesis in 2014 and continued working as a postdoctoral researcher at the Career Biology and Chemoprevention Laboratory until 2019. In 2019, she joined the European University working on an RPF project and Horizon-funded projects. She is currently an assistant professor of cancer biology in the Department of Life Sciences at the European University. Her research interests include the study of carcinogenesis mechanisms and discovery of novel cancer therapies. I call the director of our Human Resources Department, Mrs. Lukia Polykerinos, who was also part of the panel who evaluate this particular award, to give the award to Dr. Neophytou.
Hi everyone, good evening. Thank you so much for this kind introduction. Can you see my presentation on the screens? Yes? No? Can you see this? No? Okay. So, first of all, thank you for being here tonight. Dear colleagues and guests, I would like to say that I'm very honored to accept this award for Early Career Woman Researcher. I would like to thank the European University, the committee for selecting me as the recipient of this award, and the person who nominated me. Just to tell you a few words about my background. I got my first degree, my bachelor's in biology from the University of Athens, where I had strong women researchers guiding me at the time. Professor Zafiri was the first professor who guided me through the world of cancer biology, who introduced me to this field. Professor Rania Tsitsilonis, who is actually an adjunct professor here now at the AUC, introduced me to Professor Andreas Konstantinou at the University of Cyprus, where I moved in 2008, and I did my master's and PhD degrees. I worked on the discovery of new therapeutic agents for breast cancer. During my postdoctoral work, I continued that in 2015 at the UCY, and I investigated the anti-cancer mechanism of action of synthetic vitamin derivatives. And at the same time, I worked on FP7 at the time, European Commission-funded projects. This one, Granatum, aimed to identify natural compounds for the prevention and treatment of breast cancer. During my time at the UCY, I first met Panos Papagiorgis, Professor Panos Papagiorgis, who was there as a postdoc. And Panos was very gracious in sharing his knowledge and his work. And we worked together on his project to identify potent drivers of breast cancer metastasis and novel therapeutic targets. At the same time, I worked on this RIF-funded project. It was an integrated project that aimed to investigate the anti-cancer potential activity of Cypriot carobs. And up to very, very recently, actually we're still working on this project. This is a Horizon 2020 funded project. And we're collaborating with members of the faculty here at the EUC. And we're planning on, and the State General Laboratory, and we're planning on publishing the results on this project on the effects of acrylamide on colon cancer carcinogenesis. In 2019, I collaborated again with Panos, and we managed to get this RIF-funded project, this UNIMED project that investigates how breast cancer cells metastasize to the lungs. And we actually found some really interesting results that we are looking to publish soon. We found some genes that are implicated in the metastasis of breast cancer cells to the lungs. And since last September, when I was hired here as an assistant professor, I have been co-supervising this project that will be expanded into PhD work. And the student responsible for this is Maria Christou. And a couple of more recent projects that I started since acquiring this position. This is Evgenia, who is working, she's a master's student in cancer biology, working in discovering the anti-cancer effects of these natural extracts that we get from a company, Alpinamed, that we work for, and they're based in Switzerland, that we collaborate with, I'm sorry. And Maria Michail, who is working on the combination of different agents, of chemotherapeutics with small molecule inhibitors. And we're trying to investigate how these molecules may improve effectiveness of therapy in lung cancer. Both of our students are working with the state-of-the-art equipment that we have in the lab that the university has provided for us. And we're very, very looking forward to actually using the new equipment that we just got, the Zeiss confocal microscope. And my future plans are to develop new 3D culture model systems and expand this research. I would like to say that I feel very grateful to be able to continue my research here as an assistant professor. I also have professional development opportunities and the capacity for further training through Erasmus programs. Like I said before, all this research needs funding, and of course we're planning to applying to local RIF and international organizations for funding. As a woman in science, I know the challenges that we face in this field, but I believe that with determination, hard work, and support from the academic community, like I have had, we can overcome any obstacle and make significant contributions to the world of research. And I really hope that this award will serve as an inspiration for other young women who are considering a career in science and academia. I would like to dedicate the award to my mentors and colleagues, to my students especially, who I hope to inspire and support in the future, and finally to my family. They have come to understand the long hours and dedication that go along with research, and I would not be here without them. Once again, I'm deeply honored to accept this award, and I thank you all for your attention.
This year, we award the award for young researcher to another female researcher who joined our university this year. It's Dr. Iulia Televandu. Dr. Iulia Televandu is a lecturer in quantitative research methods in social sciences at the Department of Education Sciences. Her research interests lie in applying quantitative methods to investigate factors affecting motivational outcomes in the learning of mathematics and statistics. She holds an undergraduate degree in mathematics and a master's degree in applied statistics and educational methodology. She received her doctorate in quantitative education from the University of Oxford, Department of Education, in 2015. Her research work has so far received several awards and grants, and it has been published in high-impact peer-reviewed journals. For this award, I call Dr. Andrea Styrialou, recipient of last year's award, to give the award.
So thank you all for being with us today. It is my great honor to receive the Young Researcher Award. I would like to thank Professor at the Dean of our School of Humanities, Social and Educational Sciences, Professor Stavros Karagianni, for nominating me for this award. Stavros keeps a beautiful collection of plants in his office, and every time one of them blooms, he takes great pride in showing it to us. So I think it's very significant that he also cares for the new staff members, and he also sees to it so that they also bloom in their own areas of expertise. So thank you for that. Never regard study as a duty, but as an enviable opportunity to learn to know the liberating influence of duty in the realm of the spirit for your own personal joy, and to the profit of the community to which your later works belong. And this is a quote by Albert Einstein. It is indeed young researchers who are passionate about what they do can thrive, benefiting the community to which they belong. But this is only when they're given the opportunities and the means to do so. And I would like to thank European University Cyprus for encouraging us in our efforts, especially the Office of the Vice Rector of Research and External Affairs, and also special thanks to the Senate Committee on Research for recommending me for this award. When I'm asked about my work, people often question my qualification as a mathematician and my affiliation with the social sciences department. Yet this is exactly where my expertise lies, in the application of statistical methodology to do research in education, psychology, and allied fields. Numbers, if processed wisely, they can tell stories, and these stories they can sometimes be rather interesting. My research interest lies in the investigation of factors that are associated with students' motivational outcomes in their learning of mathematics, and I focus on students' academic self-concept. Academic self-concept is defined as the way in which individuals perceive their own competencies and abilities in a specific subject. It has been valued as an educational outcome in its own right, but it has also been shown to facilitate other desirable educational outcomes and even later life success. What has impressed me in my continuous research these years is the persistent evidence that has been that I have found what has been referred to in the literature as the big fish little pond effect. And this phenomenon suggests that students form their academic self-concepts based on frames of references, on comparisons, including comparisons with their peers. Thus, there is this paradoxical finding that suggests that otherwise equally able students have lower self-concept if they attend high-achieving institutions. So this effect and this phenomenon challenges the conventional wisdom that attending high-achieving educational institutions is necessarily beneficial for student learning. I find it rather interesting. Another piece of work that I have been working on recently refers to another paradox in education, and this is called the immigrant paradox. It refers to the phenomenon where students with recent immigration background seem to have better motivational outcomes and even educational expectations, what they expect from the future, than native students. I wanted to mention this finding because I believe I read in this hope, and it's nice when data tell a story of hope. As a lecturer, I mostly teach courses in quantitative methods and statistics. Therefore, for my future research plans, I aim to identify pedagogical approaches that promote statistical literacy among students who do not necessarily have a mathematical background, because social science students don't really they don't necessarily have this background, and this is a challenge that we have in social sciences when we teach statistics. So I would really like to identify methods to facilitate individuals' motivational outcomes in their learning of quantitative methods. I perform my doctorate studies with a leading educational psychologist, Herb Marsh, at the Department of Education at the University of Oxford. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank him for his guidance all this year and his support. His ideas and his theories have been my inspiration for my work. And what I really appreciate from him is the virtue that he cultivated among his team members, the virtue of collaboration. And I think that's the key to success, to be able to collaborate, because an individual's vision can only become a reality if a collaborative effort is put in it. So behind every story of success lies a journey of obstacles and struggles and impossible odds. And it is the love of the people who believe in us and who support us that keeps us going. Therefore, I would like to express my gratitude to my family with the overflow of love and support that they gave me all these years. I would like to conclude dedicating this award to my beloved grandfather and uncle who we've lost recently. Even though they did not live to get to enjoy moments like this, they were close to me all the way through here. So, thank you.
The European University Cyprus Research Award for Distinguished Researcher is granted to excellent scientists with extensive research experience who demonstrate significant and internationally recognized research results. The award appraises and promotes the work and personality of the distinguished scientists who honor European University Cyprus through their high-quality research and its impact. This year's Distinguished Researcher Award goes to Dr. Professor Apostolos Zaravinos, who is an Associate Professor of Cancer Genetics at the European University Cyprus and the Group Leader of the Cancer Genetics, Genomics, and Systems Biology Group of the Basic and Translational Cancer Research Center. He received his bachelor degree in biology from the Department of Biology of the University of Crete and his doctorate in medicine from the medical school of the same university. In 2020, 21, and 22, he was included in the list of the top 2% of the world's most cited and influential in their main subfield discipline scholars on a global list compiled by Stanford University. I call the Director General of the Research and Innovation Foundation and the Rector of our university to offer this award.
Thank you very much. Dear Director General of the Research and Innovation Foundation, respected Director, dear Vice Rectors of Research and External Affairs and Academic Affairs, dear Director of the Human Resource Department, dear Professor Deltas, esteemed Deans and Presidents, dear colleagues, dear friends and family, and dear guests. It is with great honor and happiness that I stand before you today as the recipient of the Research Award as a distinguished researcher. This award is the culmination of my academic career, and I'm deeply proud and moved to be recognized in such a meaningful way. As I reflect on this achievement, I am reminded of the words of Homer in the Iliad, «Εν αριστεύειν και υπήροχον έμενε άλλον, μη δε γένος πατέρων εσχυνέμεν», which translates to always strive for excellence and surpass others. Do not bring shame upon your ancestors. This timeless Homeric legacy has inspired generations of Greeks and Greek Cypriots to achieve great deeds, and I am truly humbled to be a part of this tradition. At our university, we understand that mediocrity is the enemy of excellence. Rather, it is the pursuit of excellence that brings out the best in us and motivates us to achieve great things. I hope that this award will serve as a reminder to all of us, including my esteemed colleagues and all members of our university, to strive for excellence in everything that we do. I would like to take a moment to highlight some of the major research findings from my group. Our work focuses on deciphering the genomic landscape of colorectal cancer and skin melanoma in patients with different immune backgrounds. Recently, my team has made significant contributions to our understanding of the mutational signatures in colorectal cancer, providing crucial evidence that the cytolytic index should be taken into consideration when selecting patients for immune checkpoint inhibition therapy, regardless of the tumor's MMR-MSI status. These findings are of immense clinical significance, and we will continue our efforts to discover new therapeutic targets and improve treatment outcomes for cancer patients. I will briefly provide just some information of the major publications that, along with my colleagues and group, we managed to accomplish during the last years. We have identified that the so-called immune cytolytic activity varies a lot across different cancer types. We have investigated the deregulated expression, gene expression across different immune cytolytic subgroups in colorectal cancer. We have investigated in depth the mutational landscape across immune cytolytic subgroups in colorectal cancer, as well as the so-called immune checkpoints, how are they differentially expressed, as well as the immune-regulated signatures in this tumor setting. In addition, we have investigated in depth the genomic landscape in skin melanomas with diverse tumor mutational burden. And also, we have deciphered upstream regulatory networks that regulate the expression of co-deregulated gene signatures in different cancer settings, including those of the colon, the rectum, kidney, and the lung. A very famous Chinese military strategist, General Sun Tzu, once quoted that if you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. So for the future, me and my team, we hope to gain a better understanding of carcinogenesis that will help us discover new therapeutic targets. And that's because the production of new knowledge is the tool that can be used to provide a better therapeutic guidance to cancer patients. I am deeply grateful to the members of the selection committee, my colleagues who have accompanied me on this research journey, of course my students, my mentors. Professor Deltas is here with us, and I had the opportunity to collaborate with him, and I thank him also in person. But also many, many other mentors that stepped into my pathway in research and academia. But most importantly, I would like to thank my family, my beloved wife, who is here with me. My children and the rest of my family have always been understanding and supportive of my long hours at work, and I truly thank them for their unwavering love and encouragement. Finally, I would like to dedicate this award to my father, who passed away 6 months ago. His wisdom and guidance have shaped me into the person that I am today, and I am forever grateful for everything that he has taught me. It is with immense pride and love that I accept this award in his honor. Thank you all for the attention, and once again, I am deeply honored and grateful to receive this distinguished research award. Thank you.
We conclude the award of granting research awards to a newly established grant that was introduced as part of our gender equality plan. This is a small research grant that is offered to colleagues who received parental leave in the previous year in order to reconnect with their research activity. The criteria for selection are the same or similar to the ones that we have for the other research awards. And we received a number of nominations, but this grant goes to our colleague, Dr. Sofia Antonia Sophocleous. Antonia? Antonia Sophocleous holds a bachelor degree in molecular biology and biochemistry from Durham University and a PhD in molecular medicine from the University of Edinburgh. Prior to her arrival in Cyprus, Antonia worked as a postdoctoral research fellow for several years at the Institute of Genetics and Cancer at the University of Edinburgh. She is currently an assistant professor of biochemistry in the School of Sciences, and her research interests focus on the role of gut microbiome in cancer development and therapy. Apart from her academic qualifications, Antonia is also the lucky mother of a 9-year-old boy and a 9-month-old baby girl. I call the director of our Department of Human Resources, Mrs. Lucia Polykerinou, to give this small grant with the hope, Antonia, that it will help you a little to reconnect with your great research work. Thank you.
Congratulations to all the awardees. We are delighted to have the symphonic band of Strovolos Municipality, European University Cyprus, under the direction of Dr. Yannis Miralis, to perform 3 pieces to close the ceremony. A medley of renowned songs by Greek composers Manos Chatsidakis and Mikis Theodorakis, arranged by Andreas Andreou. The Conquest of Paradise by Vangelis Papathanasiou, and O Charalambis by Franco Cesarini. Please. Thank you all. Dear ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this evening's ceremony. On behalf of the Rectorate, we would like to thank you all for your participation in this event. We kindly ask all participants to join us on stage for a commemorative photo. The evening will continue with a reception accompanied by music. The symphonic band will perform arrangements of beloved songs from the 80s by ABBA and Beatles. Thank you once again. Have a nice evening.